Hey there guys, how are you? Welcome back to another awesome video, and it's time for a top 6 video. And for today's top 6 video, in honor of season 6 of The Masked Singer coming to a close, we're going to look at the top 6 underrated masked singers. For this list, we'll be looking at, in my opinion, the most underrated of characters and any masked characters I may have never mentioned ever whatsoever within my Masked Singer videos, which, by the way, those will be in the description. Those links will be in the description along with that teaser short I did for this video. So without further ado, let's get into this. And starting off at number 6, we have the Egg. This guy was one of the first to show up in season 2, and unfortunately was the first to be eliminated when he only had one performance he gave. I can't remember off the top of my head what his performance was. Maybe you guys can let me know in the comments, but he definitely gave it his best, and unfortunately he was the first to be eliminated, and it was Johnny Weir, ice skater star, and I think he's a fashionista or something in the fashion industry, or something with somewhere in that industry of art or clothing or something with that art of passion. Not only is he underrated due to his performance that he gave and even that little smackdown he had against Ice Cream, but the costume is very neat and it's cool to see him on the show. At number 5, we have the Deer. Now, from the first looks of this guy, I was getting very much like a pro wrestler, WWE type of guy. Someone like maybe per se Stone Cold Steve Austin or maybe Triple H, but as soon as he mentioned and said, Ravens beware, I should have picked up on he's a football player. And that was referencing the Baltimore Ravens. And it was legendary football star Terry Bradshaw with his mannerisms and just everything he has said is very Terry Bradshaw-like, especially the shoulders he did. And he gave it his best. I know he didn't last very long, but he definitely gave it his best. He had some really decently strong performances, and I think that deer costume was pretty badass. At number 4 is the Elephant. Now, I completely forgot about this character that appeared in season 3, and it's very shocking because this was probably one of the most shocking reveals of season 3, maybe even of the entire series and of the entire show, but definitely for sure, he was the most shocking and the most surprised star to show up on this show, and it was pro skater and icon Tony Hawk. No one thought it would have been Tony Hawk. Every little guess in his clue package was very thrown off, giving the judges rock star, rock band, guesses from people like Tommy Lee. So not a rock star, but he is a rock star in people's hearts. But that performance maybe not have been his strongest, but at least he gave a good job, and I think that elephant costume is very unique. It got a nice little cool techno look to it, so props to the people that do these costumes. Number 3 is the Llama, another character I totally forgot was in this season, or was at least in this show, and it appeared in season 3 along with the Elephant, aka Tony Hawk. This guy was different because he was probably one of the very few unique costumes of the season. Don't get me wrong, all the costumes of season 3 were fantastic, but the Llama specifically was probably the first one to have a back rear end. I know that sounds a little weird, but it's kind of true. It was one of the first to have a back rear end for no reason other than the fact that it rolled around on the stage having a good time, and the character who was the Llama had a blast just in that outfit and just how funny it looks. And you can tell this guy has very comedian vibes a little. And so when it was revealed that it was Drew Carey, it kind of makes sense. I mean, he's known to be a comedian. He has his own radio show, and it was kind of cool. And he had a fun time, and who doesn't have a fun time in this show? But still, he's very underrated for just had appeared for at least a good quarter of the amount of the season. Number 2 is the Poodle. I may have mentioned her a little tiny bit once before in a video, so disclaimer on that. But however, I never went into full detail about her because I do find her probably the most underrated, or one of the most underrated of the show and of specifically season 1, because season 1 had great contenders and great contestants, and there were so many of them for the first season. There was 10, I'm pretty sure there was 12, but still, even amongst that 10 or 12, I keep forgetting, stood out in a way that was very funny for her. And it just was such a hilarious reveal, because it was Margaret Cho, who has worked with Ken Jeong before, and it's so funny the fact that Ken never guessed Margaret, and just let alone that whole scene itself was just fantastic, and it makes it even more hilarious.
Ken, I thought you would know.
I know she's my sister on Dr. Ken.
I
should know that. I had all the clues, and I knew nothing. I'm so dumb. This is a pioneer in Asian American comedy. She is the reason. You are the reason I'm a comedian.
Now, before I unveil my number 1 pick, here are a few honorable mentions. The Tree. With such great energy and that voice of hers, it could have been comedians like Lisa Kudrow, but it wound up being the talented Anna Gasteyer. The Mouse. With such a beautiful, soulful, soothing voice, it was none other than the legendary Dionne Warwick that had appeared fantastically on the show and in season 3. Alright, and my number 1 pick of my top 6 underrated masked singers is, drumroll please, The Flower. Another soulful, another legendary voice, another just power ballad of a singer and a very soulful, soothing person. Such motherly nature and a very gorgeous costume, very creative of how they put this together. Again, props to the people that make these costumes, not just for The Flower, but for every person that has made each costume each season for each specific celebrity. They really create such imaginative things with these characters and with these personas. And with such a persona and such a loving persona like The Flower, it was Patti LaBelle. I can't remember the judges' guesses, but I feel like someone might have said Patti LaBelle because there was that patty cake guess in there. So it makes sense it was Patti LaBelle, and how legendary she was and how good she held up her own against all these people, and even held her own against Seal, who was the leopard in season 2. And for those reasons and many other more are the reasons why I believe she is one of the most very much underrated singers, celebrities, and stars to have appeared on The Masked Singer. So those are my thoughts of who are those underrated masked singers. Are there any I might have missed? Let me know in the comments section. And who do you think are the most underrated people or singers or characters who have been on The Masked Singer? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please smash that button. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. I do awesome videos every day, every week. Make sure you ring that bell. I do new videos every day, every week. Share the video with your family and friends, all that good stuff and more. Leave some suggestions also in the comments section. You name it, I'll look into it. And leave some questions in there too, so once I build up an amount of questions, maybe I want to say at least more than 10 questions, maybe more than 20 questions, depending on how many I get, because I don't want it to be just 5 questions. But if we can get to maybe 10, maybe 20 questions, I will do a Q&A for you guys somewhere down the line. But look out for some scheduled videos that'll be coming up on this channel, along with other things in between, with top 10s, some other top related videos, and movie reviews, and gaming series coming back soon. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.